Hello, everybody, and welcome here to the Wine with Jimmy channel. Thank you so much for stopping by. So, this channel is dedicated to wine education. A lot of my videos are aimed towards major wine qualifications around the world. So, they are very useful for those of you studying in order to pass your challenging but fun examinations. Here you'll see a video on South Africa that I'm doing for the WSET Level 3 award, which is all about short written questions, which are the most challenging part for this wine examination. So it's really useful to practice these. Now, this is a taster video. If you want the extended format, you'll need to go across to my WWJ, that's Wine with Jimmy e-learning portal. You'll see the address for that on your screen there, on the green screen, and also there is a link in the description below this video. It's a really useful platform to help you with tons of exclusive video content, examination questions, how to prepare, maps, multiple choice, you name it. It's very useful for your wine examinations. So how should you use this video? Well, I would urge you to pause on the screen when the questions that I pose are placed on the screen. So you press pause, try and answer them yourself, and then press play to see what I give as an examiner with the answers to see if you've done well. Hopefully you do. So this is a video on South Africa, which is a very exciting new world. I mean, let's say a new old world producing country. So first of all, you'll see a label on the left-hand side, and there is a very strong possibility that you find in major wine qualification courses around the world, label questions. There's a lot to be deciphered from a label, and you can be asked, and you can answer a lot from that label. So you'll see here that we've got a couple of questions. What district is this wine produced from? Excuse me, there's missing the D. So it's looking for the district. Now, South Africa is broken into what we call regions, districts, and wards. The regions are things like the Cape Coast, the Cape South Coast, the places like the Breda River area, and so on. We are looking at a smaller part of that. So with the Cape Coast, we are looking at a smaller area, a district, and it's found here on the label as Simmonsburg Stellenbosch is actually a ward, but we're talking about Stellenbosch here. So the answer is Stellenbosch for this. Sorry, the spelling there also not perfect, but the O and the S the other way around. But this is actually quite a useful point. If your spelling is not 100% in the examination, do not worry. As long as it looks like the word, like my Stellenbosch does there, just with the S and the O the wrong way round, you still will gain your marks. But of course, if it's very alien, strange looking, and it doesn't look like the word that the examiner wants, then they can't mark it successfully. Now, in Stellenbosch, give 3 reasons why this district produces premium quality grapes in the vineyard. So we need to think about vineyard-specific grape growing, which is what it is producing higher quality wines. So first of all, it's climatic conditions here. So it has a moderate to warm climate, which is moderated by cold winds from the False Bay. You can actually announce those cool winds as the Cape Doctor if you wish. And then they're funneled into the mountains and into the valleys, by the mountains into the valleys. This gives you a real balanced agriculture and viticultural scene because it's not either too cold or too hot due to that moderating effect. 2 marks there. Another 2 marks here talking about the fact that the summers are rarely too hot because of that moderation, and winters have sufficient rainfall to build up water reserves in the soil, though that has been a problem in the past in South Africa. But generally, there is good rainfall here. Having this kind of Mediterranean sort of continental climate, there is sort of winter rainfall focus. And thirdly, it's a really diverse landscape of mountains and hills. Stellenbosch has things like the Simmonsberg Mountain, the Stellenbosch Mountain, the Helderberg Mountain, and hills like the Botolari Hills. Now, all of these give you a range of altitudes and aspects, which provides a better conditions for a range of key varietals. So 2 marks for each of those 3 reasons there on your slide. Pinotage is a crossing and a key grape variety for South Africa. Describe what is meant by a crossing. Now, this is something that we call critical thinking. Questions are not just specifically asked from one section in your book. So, for example, this is not purely just South Africa. It will link into other areas. And typically, when it's a regional question, like South Africa, country of origin, then it will link into grape growing and winemaking concepts, which are early chapters in your textbook. And that's certainly what we find here, because the information for this is not found in the South African section, but actually in the grape growing section. So that's for 2 marks, describe what a crossing is. This is a new variety produced from 2 parents of the same species, Vitis vinifera times Vitis vinifera. So that is what it is. We haven't gone into the details on how and why yet, but this certainly is exactly what a crossing is. Now, it doesn't always have to be a Vitis vinifera as the 2 parents. You can have 2 Labruscas, Riparia, for example, as the parents, and that will still be a crossing. But in the terms of quality premium wine, we are certainly talking about Vitis vinifera being the 2 parents. How is this carried out? How do we make a crossing? So utilizing cross-pollination, and this is in the early text of your book again, using cross-pollination where pollen from the male part of a flower of one vine is transferred to the female part of the flower. So basically, the pollen goes to the egg by our influence, and the pollinated flower develops into a grape with seeds, and then those seeds can be taken out and planted to produce a crossing. Okay, 5 marks there, talking about cross-pollination, 1 mark. Then the act of the male part and the female part, 2 and 3 marks. Then it develops into a grape with seeds, 4 marks, and then they are then planted to produce that crossing, 5 marks. So that is the how it is done. Give 3 reasons why you would do this to produce a crossing. And if you would like to find out the answer to this, plus more exclusive content on South African questions, then you'll need to go to my full version, which is available at the Wine with Jimmy e-learning portal. You'll see the address for that there on your screen, and also found in the description of this video as a link. You really won't be disappointed if you sign up. Lots of exclusive goodies to get you through your examination.